What's up, PTB Nation? Welcome to episode 92 of Parking the Bus. I'm the Mr. Mike Agostino here with you again. It's Sunday night, and we are having a watch party right now. We are watching along. The MLS Eastern Conference Final is underway, about 30 minutes in right now. Philadelphia versus NYC. It is still 0-0. The Union thought they'd gone ahead a little while ago, but it turned out to be ruled offside, leading to no goal, obviously. So in the just about the 30th minute now, it is still 0-0. What a weekend of football we have had as Philadelphia is attacking right now, but Carranzo's shot goes over the goal. Nothing happening yet. Earlier today, LAFC booked their ticket to the final. They also won the right to host the final. We already know the final will be next Saturday, November the 5th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:30 Pacific on Fox Sports. It's on Fox Sports, I think, on Fox Sports 1. I think it's on Fox Sports 1. Don't quote me on that. I'll get that to you before the end of the episode. But it will be LAFC hosting the winner of this match that's going on right now between Philadelphia and New York City. But we'll start with yesterday's action. All right, we're gonna be here for a little while tonight, so sit tight, grab yourself a cold one, and enjoy. We start off yesterday in the Copa Libertadores final. Okay, it was Flamengo taking on the Hurricanes, taking on Atlético Paranaense, coached, of course, by the legend Luis Felipe Scolari, Filipão, as they know him in those parts. And the match was played in Guayaquil, Ecuador. Surprisingly, a lot of empty seats in the house yesterday for that match. Perhaps Flamengo fans are a little tired of traveling at this point. It was, third final in 4 years for Flamengo. It was also the second final in separate competitions, back-to-back for Atlético Paranaense. Last year, of course, Atlético Paranaense won the Copa Sudamericana. They were the winners of that competition, beating fellow Brazilian side Red Bull Bragantino last season. This season, we've got again, just dominance by the Brazilian teams in the Copa Libertadores. No question at all, just absolute dominance. And I'm going to share the screen here, and you're going to get to see what's going on there as we watch along here with the MLS match. But while I talk about something else, you can follow along there, courtesy of SofaScore. Okay, going back to yesterday's Copa Lib Final, like I said, Flamengo's third final in 4 years. Okay, they just been dominant since 2019 in this competition, and now they've won 2 out of those 3 finals, losing last year to Palmeiras, who were the defending champion. So again, 4 years straight here of Brazilian dominance ever since River Plate beat Boca Juniors back in 2018 in that final. You thought we were going to see some Argentine dominance from there going forward. It doesn't work out that way. The very next year in 2019, Flamengo beats River Plate, and then after that, it was 2 wins by Palmeiras, both in all Brazilian finals, and for the third year in a row, an all Brazilian final here. This time in Guayaquil, Ecuador. And like I said, it was Flamengo coming out on top. It was not a great match to watch. If you're a neutral, I don't think you enjoyed it, to be quite honest with you. The match was, kind of ruined. The referee had to do what he had to do, but in the end, a red card in the first half to Atlético Paranaense. As we have something going on here. Hold on. We'll stay with it. And Sean Johnson comes up with the loose ball save, and the referee blows his whistle. Still 0-0 in Philadelphia right now. Gazdag thought he may have set up a goal, but Sean Johnson was there to come out. So getting back to the Copa Lib Final, the game wasn't great to watch. I don't think anyone that watched it, if you're a Flamenguista, obviously you are ecstatic. You've won your third Libertadores now. You're the champion of South America once again, and you don't care how you get it. And again, Atlético Paranaense going down to 10 men in the first half, and then Flamengo getting on the board right after, pulling ahead. Once again, it's Gabigol scoring again. Gabigol in the final just loves to play these finals. He gets on the end of a great ball. I think the ball was sent in by I want to say it was by the Hascaeta, but I will give you the exact stats in just a moment, pulling them up right now. And again, Flamengo in complete control of that match. There was a chance late for Atletico Paranaense to try to steal a late tying goal, which would have sent the match to penalties. That's right. It goes straight to penalties in South America. There is no extra time. It could have gone straight to penalties. It didn't happen because, well, they just couldn't convert those few chances that they had. And it was just a hard afternoon for the Hurricanes there in Guayaquil. And it's always going to be hard against Flamengo, but doing it with 10 men, even harder. All right, I am pulling it up here. So now I have the starting lineups. I'll run them down for you. Starting with the Hurricanes, managed by, like I said, Luis Felipe Scolari, the former World Cup winning manager. Filippo goes with his goalkeeper is Krepski. They're playing 4-1-3-2. Kelvin is the right back. Enrique and Ilenu are the center back pairing. Enrique, of course, is the player that would go off. That's Pedro Enrique, 27-year-old central defender. He was the one that saw 2 yellow cards, and in a needless challenge, to be quite honest with you, a needless challenge late in the first half, putting his team down to 10 men, and really, in reality, just shattering the hopes of Club Atlético Paranaense to come out of this Copa Libertadores final with the trophy. Like I said, Gabriel Barbosa, a.k.a. Gabigol, with the goal in the 45th +4. He just loves to score in these finals. Remember, he had both goals against River Plate back in 2019. Now he does it again. He has scored goals to win 2 Copa Libertadores now. It was Everton Ribeiro, who whipped in the cross along the ground right onto the run of Gabigol that resulted in Flamengo's goal, the only goal of the match. You can look at some of the stats here. It was a one-sided, very lopsided match between the two. 73% possession to Flamengo, and they had a 1.45 xG to Atletico's 0.47, only 27% possession for the Hurricanes. 15 total shots to 9 in favor of Flamengo. Flamengo with 488 accurate passes to Atletico's 125. Fouls committed was even, pretty much 11-12. Slight advantage there to Atletico. But again, Atletico not able to really create too many chances. They tried on some set pieces, but in the end, they could not get it done. And again, the man of the match in this one, selected by FOTMob, was Everton Ribeiro. And I will go now with the rest of the lineup here. I stopped reading the lineup. In the holding midfield role for Atletico is Hugo Moura. And then in front of Hugo Moura, the 3 attacking midfielders, the legend, Fernandinho, is the right attacking mid. Yeah, you know the name. He is now 37 years old, Fernandinho. Former star, former national team player. He's played for Manchester City. He's played for Shakhtar Donetsk 53 times, capped for the Brazilian national team for the Canarinha. He got the start. And next to Vitor Bueno and next to Alex Santana, those 3 made up the attacking midfield behind the strike pairing of Vitor Roque and Vitinho. Those were the 11 starters for Club Atlético Paranaense. For Flamengo, also playing the same exact formation, a 4-3-1-2. It's actually not, I shouldn't say, it's an opposite, an inverted version of the formation, but we get Ademar Santos gets the start in goal again for Dorival, the manager of Flamengo, as the referee produces a yellow card in Philadelphia right now. I will tell you exactly who that yellow card goes to. It goes to Martinez of Philadelphia. He picks up the yellow card. He's now checking on the New York City player. It looks like it's hard to see who that is, but still 0-0 in Philadelphia. In Guayaquil, the back 4 for Dorival. He's got Rodinei as the right back, David Luiz and Leo Pereira are the center back pairing. Felipe Luis gets the start at left wingback, and then in front of him, the three-man midfield of Thiago Maia playing in the hole in the holding role with Everton Ribeiro to his right and João Gomes to his left. They're playing behind the number 10, the Uruguayan international Georgian de Hascaeta, and they're behind, and he's playing behind the two strikers, Pedro and Gabigol. So we looked at the stats there. Felipe Luis gets injured in this one. In the 20th minute, he is subbed off, and he is replaced by Ayrton Lucas. And like we said, Pedro Henrique would go into the referee's book in the 28th minute on a foul, and then needlessly pick up a second yellow in the 43rd minute. And moments later, that's when Gabigol put the ball in the back of the net and put the Mengão in the lead. The Hurricanes would make 4 changes in the second half. One of them at halftime. Mateus Felipe would replace Alex Santana, while Agustin Canobillo would replace Vitor Bueno, and Romelu Cruz replaced Vitinho in the 57th. In the 65th, there was another switch for Luis Felipe Scolari. Pablo comes on, Vitor Roque comes off, and that's when it still continued to be a tough matchup for them. And in the 71st minute, Dorival would go to his bench. Arturo Vidal, the legend, the Chilean. How many of you even knew he was playing for Flamengo right now? The former Barcelona, former Bayern Munich, if my memory corrects me, if my memory serves me right. Let's run down the resume here, the CV of Arturo Vidal, longtime Chile international. Yes, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Juventus legend, Inter as well, all on his CV, now playing his club football at Flamengo. He comes on for Thiago Maia and solidifies the midfield even more. And in the end, it really, like I said, there was a direct free kick at the edge of the area late in the match, but that was as close as the Hurricanes were going to get. Flamengo, for the third times, champion of South America, champion of the Copa Libertadores. Congratulations to the Nação, to the nation, as I'm sure they are partying back in Rio right now. The Brazilian League is closing up soon. It's really all but done at this point. Flamengo will not win the title. That title is going to belong to Palmeiras. It's just a matter of time. The next round of matches taking place Wednesday night. Palmeiras, if they win on Wednesday night, they are champions. It's over at that point. And Abel Ferreira will leave with I shouldn't say leave. Who knows where he's going to be next season. He could very well stay there and continue to shine and continue to be the guy at Palmeiras. They adore him there. And we'll see what happens on Wednesday. I fully expect Palmeiras, they'll win the league at some point. If it's not Wednesday, it'll be next week, and they've got a 10-point lead with 4 matches to play on Inter Porto Alegre, and it's just a matter of time now before the Verdão are crowned the champions of Brazil. So maybe the late midweek episode this week of this show, we may be talking about and congratulating Palmeiras on that later in the week. Okay. Checking in now in Philadelphia. We're still 0-0, 43rd minute right now. A lot more action coming from Philadelphia Union at this moment. They are the ones doing most of the attacking. We're getting a shot of Jim Curtin there. And it looks like one of the Philadelphia Union trainers have been sent off. Yeah, the trainer, the medical staff. Something must have been shouted at the referee. Let's look at the lineups while we can. I'll bring them up here, and I'll tell you who's on the pitch for what team as halftime approaches here in Philadelphia. Now, I thought about going to this match tonight. I'm going to be honest with you. I even went onto my Ticketmaster app yesterday with the 8 o'clock kickoff, which really means 8:30. I could have realistically gotten there tonight and gotten back home before it being too late. I could have probably gotten back home about 4 o'clock in the morning this coming morning, and still been able to get into work for 11 tomorrow. But tickets were starting. If you don't think MLS has made it, tickets for this match tonight were starting at $127. That was the cheapest ticket available for this match. It's a sellout tonight at Subaru Park. I was there earlier in the summer. It's a fantastic stadium. It's a great park, great place to watch football. Every seat is a good seat. The fans love their team there. They are very, very into their team, as Alejandro Bedoya commits a foul on Morales there. He comes in from behind and chops him down. The referee calls it. Ale Bedoya does not agree. He's holding out the ball as if he got the ball. He didn't get the ball. But yeah, Philadelphia is just a great, great place to watch football. I had a great time there earlier this summer, watching them just absolutely annihilate Houston Dynamo. As we get a chance there for New York City. Wow. 3 minutes of stoppage time. So we're going to stay with this match for the rest of the half here. 3 minutes of stoppage time as we are at 45 now. Again, New York City weathering the storm, and they're starting to push forward. Remember, these two teams met last year at this stage, and it was a different circumstance last year. We were still dealing with all kinds of ridiculous health and safety protocols, and Philadelphia was missing something like 11 first-teamers for that match, in which New York City was able to win and go on to win the MLS Cup, as Carranza gets a shot, but it's right at Sean Johnson. He pounces on it. The crowd got a little bit of an uproar there. They were getting excited. It looks like Gazdag with the flick on there in behind. And Carranza tries to hit it on a half volley, but it's right at Sean Johnson. So, yeah, the ticket's starting at $127 tonight. So, for them to have a full house with a ticket price like that, you can't hate on Major League Soccer right now, okay, when it comes to its fan base. Maybe it's not mainstream. Yeah, they're playing on Fox Sports 1 on a Sunday night opposite the NFL. Personally, I could care less about the NFL. I haven't sat down and watched the NFL outside of a Super Bowl in 3 or 4 years. I don't plan to watch it. I'm tired of watching a sport that reduces men to having early onset dementia in their 40s and 50s from bashing their skulls against each other. So there are going to be difficulties. The ratings are not going to be good for this game, I'll tell you right now. No Major League Soccer game ever has good ratings on Fox Sports 1. That's why Apple TV Plus is coming in, and I think it's going to be such a better product on Apple TV Plus next year. And again, it'll grow the fan base slowly, but it will grow it, I think. Again, every single season ticket holder is going to have a free subscription for the year to Apple TV Plus for the season. Okay. It was also reported on The Athletic this week. I listened to it myself. Sam Stejko and Paul Tenorio, two of the two MLS guys, the two U.S. soccer guys there, talking about it. 40% of the Major League Soccer matches next year are not going to be behind a paywall. They're going to be in front of the paywall. What that means is all you got to do is get the app, the Apple TV Plus app. You won't even have to subscribe. They're going to put 40% of the matches on for free. How hard is it to get an app? Stop crying and complaining that the matches aren't on linear TV. Screw linear TV. Linear TV gives you bad time slots. It's done nothing but do that for 25 years now. Since 1996. What's that? 26 years? Nothing but bad time slots. Half the whistle, the referee blows his whistle for halftime. Nothing but bad slots. We're playing playoff games on Thursday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Why? What kind of media partner is that? And again, Sam Stejko on The Athletic, he said it best. His wife works in television, and she was watching in the lead-in to Major League Soccer playoffs, okay? In the lead-in, okay, the bumper programming, which is supposed to draw viewers in and take them to the next program. They're telling people, instead of staying with it, we got Major League Soccer playoffs here at the top of the hour. They're continuing their show. They say, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and we're going to talk about the NFL. Switch over to ESPN2. Just takes your audience and shifts it. We don't need media partners like that. Major League Soccer does not need linear television anymore. It has failed. Face it, it has failed for 26 years. There have not been good ratings. Putting it on Apple TV Plus, I think, is going to take good care of the product. It's going to treat it with respect. It's going to elevate it. You're going to get great national pregame and national postgame every Saturday night. You're going to get that. And you're going to get, they're in the process right now. They're hiring announcers. They're hiring producers, okay? They're going to have a studio at 106 and Park, at the historic 106 and Park. Yeah, where 106 and Park used to be filmed. That's where Major League Soccer's main studio for Apple TV Plus is going to be located. That's where they're going to produce the content. All right, it is halftime. Like I said, I'll run down who's playing right now, or maybe I'll wait till the start of the second half to tell you who's playing. I'm going to move on now, and we're going to talk about last night's women's NWSL Final between the Portland Thorns and the Kansas City Current. They played last night at Audi Field in Washington, D.C., and I tuned in for this one, and I'm going to say I enjoyed the match. I didn't know what to expect. I said I haven't really watched the NWSL. It's not... I enjoy the women's game. I have not been following the NWSL. My viewership goes elsewhere. I watch a lot of the European women's football. I like to watch Barcelona and Chelsea and Leon and PSG and Juventus and Roma and, you know, top teams from the continent versus the NWSL, in part because, I mean, the roster rules in North America make for less strong teams, and I like to see stronger teams play. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not saying that these NWSL teams wouldn't beat those European teams, but the style and the flavor of the football I prefer from Europe right now to what's being played on this side of the world in the women's game. But I watched the match last night and I enjoyed it. Questionable goalkeeping. I'm going to say there was some questionable goalkeeping, but I was pleasantly surprised at the turnout. I really thought that playing the match at a neutral site was a mistake. I apologize for my ignorance. I have not followed that league closely before. It may be the first time I've sat down and watched an entire match, okay? And I admit that here, okay? So that's my mea culpa. It may be the first time I ever watched an NWSL match live from start to finish. And I watched this from start to finish, okay? I watched the pregame. They brought out the big one. They brought out Kate Abdo. All right. Ali Wagner doing a great job calling the matches. Okay. The commentary was good. The analysis was good. The pregame, postgame was good. I was impressed with all of that. Of course, the match was on CBS. And it's momentous that they gave this time slot to women's football on big CBS right after an SEC American football game. Okay, right after Florida, Georgia, one of the big games in all of college football. And I'm impressed that CBS gave them that platform. They didn't put it on CBS Sports Plus or CBS Sports Network. They put it on big CBS as well as on Paramount Plus. So I watched it on Paramount Plus, but it was a simulcast. And overall, like I said, I really liked it. Some of the football things I'm a little critical of, but again, I thought there was not going to be much of a crowd. Okay, I thought it was going to be a small turnout, being that you have a team from Portland, Oregon, and a team from Kansas City, Missouri, playing in Washington, D.C. Nowhere near the two cities that are involved, and I still think that they'd be better to do like MLS and have the higher seed play these finals at home, because there was a good crowd, but the atmosphere was quite flat. I'm going to be honest. The atmosphere was flat. The European matches have bigger atmospheres. You watched the Women's Champions League final last year between Barcelona and Leon, playing it in Turin at the Juventus Stadium, at the Allianz Stadium. 55,000 people were there, and it was popping. It was jumping. This had a decent turnout, and let's see if they don't list the attendance here on FOTMob, but there were not a lot of empty seats. There were some, but not a lot. I mean, the empty seats were much more noticeable in the Copa Libertadores final than they were in the NWSL final. However, a lot of these were neutral fans, so the atmosphere was quite flat. You had traveling support from Portland at one end, and you had traveling support from Kansas City at another. They made a little noise. They had a couple chants, a couple songs, but by and large, It was a neutral crowd. I'll give you the lineups right now. As we'll start with the Kansas City Current and their manager Matt Potter playing a 3-4-3. As he has his goalkeeper in this one. I gotta ask some questions of her in this one. Adriana Franch, 31-year-old, in goal for Kansas City. You've got three in the back. You got Addison Merrick, who ends up being credited with an own goal on the second one. You've got Elizabeth Ball, and you've got Kristen Edmonds. Those are the three across the back. The wing backs, on the right, you've got Kate Del Fava, 24-year-old American, and on the left, you have Haley Mace, a 25-year-old American. Double pivot in midfield for Kansas City, the Canadian Desiree Scott. She's 35 years old, still playing at a very high level. She partners with American 23-year-old Alexis Loera. And in the front three, okay, this is where some of Kansas City's power is. You've got Cecilia Kaiser down the right. You've got Loo Labonta, 29-year-old American. I apologize for butchering that name. I'm not familiar with this player. Again, I apologize for my ignorance. Okay, it's a lot of football that I watch, and I was not familiar with these two teams, but I wanted to watch this match and give my honest opinion of what I thought. I don't know how to pronounce her first name. It's Lo''Eeao. Maybe it's Lolo. It must be Lolo Labonta. Again, 29-year-old. And the left-sided forward is another American, Kristen Hamilton. She's 30 years old. For the Portland Thorns, okay? And if you don't know, again, I'm planning to do an episode on this at some point, but I need to do a lot of research before I talk about this topic. The Portland Thorns are at the center of the current scandal going on in the NWSL. The Yates report has come out. Okay, I have not read it yet. I've heard, the Cliff Notes version from different people who have read it. I have not read it for myself yet. I believe it's 173 pages. So I'm not going to comment yet until I read it now. But it's a very, very important investigation. It's disgusting what's been going on behind the scenes, not just in this league, but in football in general, in women's football, in youth football, and sadly, it's disgusting. It's happening to both boys and girls youth football. Okay, there are abuses happening everywhere in this game, and it needs to be stomped out. Portland Thorns are at the center of it. Okay, their fan base, along with their brother club, the Portland Timbers. I don't know why they don't just call them the Timbers as well. I think they should both be the Timbers. I don't know why these teams don't want to put their identities together. You're sharing a fan base, you share a stadium, share an identity. I think what's grown European women's football is that you have the major brands, you have the major clubs, and you have the girls wearing the jerseys of Real Madrid and Barcelona and Chelsea and Juventus, okay, and Bayern Munich. This is going to get the fan base behind them. They're not just some other team with another name, a generic franchise name, which is what they insist on doing here in this country. And I think it's hurting the women's game that they have. I know they see it as empowerment, and they see it that they have their own name and their own brand and their own identity. But I do believe they would get more attention and they'd get more fandom if they were playing with the same name as the established teams in their markets. I mean, Seattle is the most infuriating of example, calling themselves the OL Reign, portraying themselves as Olympic Lyon's farm team, if you will, their minor league team. I don't understand who thought that was good marketing. I don't care how much money is involved. You're telling your fan base that that's not even their team. That's Leon's team in the United States. Why are they not just the Lady Sounders or the Seattle Sounders FC? Just like they should keep the same name. You would have bigger crowds. I guarantee you would have bigger crowds. If the Thorns were the Timbers and the Reign were the Sounders, and Angel City FC that's a whole different investment platform. There's a little, that one has a little more reason to have its own identity given the amount of money that has been put into it. But getting back to the topic and getting back to what was happening here, Portland Thorns are in the middle of this controversy. The fans of both the Thorns and the Timbers want their owner, Merritt Paulson, to sell. There were signs in the crowd last night. You saw it. It said Merritt Paulson protects abusers. Very harsh, but you can't deny it, okay? And this is something systematic that we see in all systems. We see it in sport. We see it in schools. We see it in churches. We see it in scouts. The abusers always get quietly moved from one place to another. That's exactly what happened here. A coach, rather than being sacked properly, and rather than a full investigation going in and finding out what he was doing, was quietly allowed to leave on good terms, mind you. And he was allowed to go get another job in another city and continue those abuses. Yeah, I mean, Merritt Paulson has a lot to answer to, and he can't hide. He cannot hide. He has to face the music. That said, Portland Thorns getting into this final amidst all of this is quite a story in of itself. And I think that, you know, it's quite a testament to their character and to their focus to be able to put together this good of a team. They're going for their third title here. In goal, the Thorns have the American Bella Bixby. She's 26 years old. The right back in their 4-3-3 is Natalia Kuika. She's from Finland. The center backs, Becky Sauerbrunn and Kelly Hubley, are the pair of center backs. The left back is the U.S. international, Megan Klingenberg, 34 years old now, but still playing, like we said, at a very, very high level. In midfield, anchored by the center midfielder, Samantha Coffey, a young 23-year-old American. To her right, the Canadian legend, all-time world-leading international goal scorer, Christine Sinclair, now 39 years old and still killing it. Shout out, mad respect to Christine Sinclair, playing as a left center mid here. And to the right, you have Raquel Rodriguez, a Costa Rican who was at the middle of so many plays. She was crucial in this match. I thought she was very good in this match. One of the better players, in my opinion, on the night, last night at Audi Field. And in front of them, their front three. Down the right, they've got Yasmin Ryan, 23-year-old American. The striker, the central striker, is a 22-year-old American, Sophia Smith. She would pick up the goal, and she would get the first goal. She would end up being the player of the match or the MVP of this final. Very good performance from her. And on the left side of the attack is the 25-year-old Morgan Weaver, who was also very good in this matchup. Again, some of the play, some of the mistakes, I think is a lower level than what I'm seeing from the top European teams. And I watched this to make a comparison, not to insult, but I genuinely was curious as to where the two levels are. The first goal is a horrible mistake, okay, from Kansas City. The ball is played in, and instead of just, staying on her feet, running, and ensuring that she gets the ball, or at least getting good defensive positioning, Elizabeth Ball decides to slide for the ball. Rule number one when you're a center back, if you're going to slide, you have to get the ball. She does not get the ball. She misses it, or gets a weak touch on it, and it allows Sophia Smith, it allows her in on a breakaway, and she finishes very calmly, beating French. She dribbles her and puts it in the goal, and I thought that French, although she was left out to dry on this, also should have done better goalkeeping-wise. She was out halfway, and she came to a dead stop, making it very easy to dribble her. Again, you either retreat or you come all the way out. She did neither, and she allowed Smith to dribble her. Thorns take the lead. That goal came fairly early. That was in the 4th minute. And it looked like I was hoping Kansas City would get one back. I wanted to see this, I wanted to see this get close. I wanted to see this one go down to the final minutes. I really wanted to see the passion come out. I want to see how the crowd would react, the largely neutral crowd. But in the 54th, it was all said and done when just Kansas City makes a mess of it in the back. And again, as we said, Merrick here, her full name, Addison Merrick puts it in her own goal. Not much she could do. I mean, it was a deflection. It goes off the bench, off the post. Couldn't get out of the way of it. But still, Kansas City make a mess of it. This came down to two bad defensive mistakes from Kansas City. No credit being taken away from Portland Thorns here. They were the better team on the night, and the stats should reflect that as I look at it. Portland Thorns 53% possession to 47. Portland Thorns 18 total shots to 9. They completed more passes. They attempted more passes. It really was, they were the better team, but in the end, Kansas City lost because they conceded goals that they shouldn't concede. So, again, I was a little disappointed with the level of play a little bit. I mean, again, a lot of this is due to the roster rules. Okay, a lot of this is due to the roster rules, and you just don't have super teams in the NWSL. A lot of people think that that's exciting. A lot of people think that that's parity and that brings, good things. I'd rather watch Barcelona. I mean, I enjoy watching Barcelona and Chelsea and Manchester City and Lyon and team Bayern Munich and teams like that play the game better. I mean, they're just from 1 to 11 very good. But again, congratulations to the Portland Thorns. I'm not trying to discredit them at all. 3rd championship, the most of any club in NWSL history. And again, I think this is a great night for the league. It was a little bit of a late start, but it was on CBS, big CBS, not CBS Sportsnet, like I said, not just on Paramount Plus. It was on big CBS, on network television. And I think that it was a great night, and I'm much more optimistic about the future of this league than I was, say, 6 months ago. I do think they have a lot of things to clean up, obviously. This Yates investigation is only the beginning. They've got to clean the sport up. They've got to get the abusers out. They have to have a plan. They have to have better reporting systems, a better way for players to report abuses. Players have to feel safe reporting these abuses. Sounds like a human resource issue more than anything else. You need better policing within the league and better safety measures, and you got to take care of your players. It doesn't matter if these abuses happen. Like I said, they happen in sports, they happen in churches, they happen in scouts, they happen in schools, they happen in the corporate world as well. And everybody is guilty for allowing these things to happen. And you need to start thinking outside the box and start coming up with aggressive ways to protect these players. And the answer is not just firing people, because that doesn't stop the next one from coming in and doing it. You really have to put protection protocols in place. But again, congratulations, Portland Thorns, well-deserved champions for 2022. I almost called them Manchester City. New York City's attacking right now. We're 2 minutes into the second half. Let's see here. We're down in the corner. It looks like Philadelphia have won the ball, and they're trying to play it out now. Maizo picks it up. Now he finds Gazdag, but Martinez loses it. Tanner Holm finds Morales for New York City. Morales is spinning around. He's still on the ball. He's looking for help. He plays the ball in over the top. Cleared away by Philadelphia Union. Let's look at who is on the pitch right now for both teams as the second half is underway. Again, one of these teams is going to be traveling to Los Angeles next Saturday for the MLS Cup. That match is going to be at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. And I thought LAFC was gonna trip up. I didn't think they were gonna get to the final. I thought it was gonna be today against Austin. Watching those two teams down the stretch, LAFC were not good. The 2 wins in their last 10 regular season matches, and they're proving now it doesn't matter. Just a great postseason so far by them, a dominant postseason. All right, so we had one substitution at halftime. Let's look at the lineup first. So for New York City, they went with Sean Johnson, like I said. 4 across the back in their 4-2-3-1. Tennerholm is the right back. Hawk and Martins are the two center backs, with Collins playing as a left back. Double pivot in midfield of Acevedo and Morales. Behind the three attacking midfielders, you've got Gabriel Pereira, the Brazilian, partnering with Santiago Rodriguez, the Uruguayan, and the American Kevin O'Toole, 23-year-old American, as the left-sided center mid. Behind the Brazilian forward, Hebert. For Philadelphia, Andre Blake is in goal, the Jamaica international. Mabizo is the right back. Glesnes is the center back. Elliott, the other center back. And Kai Wagner, the left back, the German. Three midfielders. Alejandro Bedoya has been subbed off. He's been replaced by Jack McGlynn. Jose Andres Martinez, the Venezuelan, starts in the center midfield role in the hole there, with the German Leon Flock, 21-year-old, to his left, playing behind the Hungarian, 26-year-old Hungarian Daniel Hazdag, and the two strikers. You've got the Danish striker Mikel Ura, 28 years old, partnering with the Argentine Julian Carranza. Those are the 22 men that are on the pitch right now. As now Philadelphia is starting to attack here. It's Gazdag, and he finds Flock, back to Gazdag. Gazdag here, playing it back to Kai Wagner, into the center to Elliott. Opens it all the way out to the right. There you got Gesnes, whose pass is intercepted by Morales. Morales loses it, though. Mabizo with the tackle. It is a throw to Philadelphia. And in a few moments, we will talk about the other semifinal earlier today. Very convincing, like I said. Very convincing 3-0 victory for LAFC. Ball's being played almost like a volleyball match right now in midfield, as they're just first timing it to each other, heading it back and forth. LAFC, again, dominant today. I felt, although there was a little bit of controversy in this one, I did feel for Austin FC. I thought they were ready. I thought they were going to win this match. But LAFC, all the credit in the world to them. I'll put up the screen here so now you guys can see what's going on in this match while I talk about the previous match. You can follow along right there. That's courtesy of SofaScore. I'll give you a better screen. All right, as Ura is going to go in the referee's book right here. Here we go. He nailed Morales. Mikel Ura just nailed him. Is the referee going to show a yellow card or not? Santiago Rodriguez is there pointing to the referee, saying that's his second time he's done that. Let's see what we got here. And it looks like the referee's not even going to produce a yellow card. We got a good shot of the Sons of Ben here, the fans of the Philadelphia Union. No foul. I'm assuming there's a good traveling support for New York City FC as well tonight. They have not shown them on camera yet, but I'm assuming that they brought a lot of fans. It's a short drive from New York to Philadelphia. Once you actually make that drive, you don't realize how short it is. And they're playing the replay. And yeah, Ura just comes in late and steps on his ankle. No card produced, though. All right. So today's earlier match again. Here's the lineups. We'll start with Austin FC. And their manager, Josh Wolf, sends out a 4-2-3-1 as well. Stuver is the goalkeeper. Brad Stuver, 31-year-old American. He's been on fire in these playoffs. The right back is Nick Lima. You've got the two center backs, Julio Cascante, the Costa Rican, and Norway's Ruben Gabrielsen. The left back is John Gallagher, the Irishman, with the two double pivot of midfield in front of them. Venezuelan Daniel Pereira partnering with the Finnish midfielder Alexander Ring. Three attacking midfielders in front of them. On the right, the Argentine Emiliano Ariel Rigoni. In the center mid in a number 10 position is, of course, the star of the team, the Argentine Sebastian Driussi, 26 years old. Not a good day for him today. He was really shadowed. He was really just neutralized and completely kept out of the match by by Austin FC. Oh, as Ura has a shot on goal and Sean Johnson comes up with the save at the near post. And down the left attacking mid, of course, is the former New England Revolution homegrown player, also a Uruguayan, Diego Fagundes. And again, I think I want to give Diego a shout out right here. As I've said before, I remember watching this kid play indoor soccer at a facility that I worked at years ago when he was about 9-10 years old, and I remember watching him play and how good he was. And I do remember, like I said, one referee saying, I don't say this often, but if I've ever seen a kid that may go somewhere, this referee said to me, and maybe that little Diego kid. And surely enough, here we are. Diego Fagundes, for me, just had a career year in Major League Soccer. This was the best year of his career. Congratulations to him. He was fantastic all year. I think he had a personal record in terms of output this year, offensive output, 6 goals and 12 assists this year for the 27-year-old Diego Fagundes, native of Montevideo, Uruguay, but raised in Leominster, Massachusetts. And those 12 assists, that is a great stat line for this season. And looking at his career totals, I think that's the best season he's had in his career. As I look at his stats, yeah, it really is his best season for sure. His best prior to this season was 8 in 2018. So congratulations to him as well. A great season. Always like to see guys stick it out and really do well. And they're playing behind the striker, Moussa Dite, the Senegalese 23-year-old striker. But really, and we got a goal. We got a goal, ladies and gentlemen. You might already see it on your screen there. Santiago Morales has scored. The defending champions are in the lead. Wow. Philadelphia just went side. Now we get a shot of the traveling city supporters. And nobody expected this. I mean, is it going to happen again to Philadelphia? The third rail is in the house. Maxi Morales, excuse me, not Santi. Maxi Morales. And it starts with Sean Johnson playing a long ball. It's controlled by Collins. Santiago Martinez plays it across. Wow. And there's Maxi Morales from Santi Martinez. It is an absolutely clean finish with his right foot to the far post. New York City FC take the lead in Chester tonight. And now Philadelphia have 33 minutes to equalize here. You might want to ask some questions of Andre Blake, but I don't know that a shot can be placed any better than that. Maxi Morales, his 5 goals and 6 assists versus Philadelphia in all competitions. Wow. He loves to play against the Union. And it is 1-0 to New York City FC. Let's see where this goes. Going back to the earlier semifinal, of course, it was all LAFC, right from the beginning. Austin came out kind of slow. This was an early kickoff. I mean, it was a 3:30 Eastern time kickoff, which means it was 12:30 in LA, 12:30 p.m. as we see Abear there trying, and he's going to win a corner. Yeah, Abear wins a corner for New York City. But a man of the match performance from Carlos Vela today, showing his class once again. Giorgio Chiellini puts in a first half performance. He plays 45 minutes in this one. And he's just always happy, always smiling. It was on the half-hour mark where Carlos Vela picked out Christian Arango Chicho as he wears on his jersey. And Arango would head it home. The Colombian would, with a very clean header, put it past the goalkeeper here and make it 1-0 to LAFC. And you could feel for Austin at this point as New York City gets ready to take a corner. Tennerholm heads it in, but it's cleared, but only as far as O'Toole. Abear's got it. And still New York City with it in deep. Here comes a cross. Oh, what a save! My goodness, what a save by Andre Blake. It could have very easily been 2-0 right there. Andre Blake with the save of the match. The ball was whipped in from the left. I'm not sure who got their head on that one, if it was Abear or not. It was definitely a New York City player. Fantastic header at the near post. Let's see if we're going to get a replay again here. And the 3-time goalkeeper of the year just kept his team in the match. I'm going to check in also right now in Mexico. It is 0-0. They're 7 minutes in. As you know, tonight, leg 2 of the Liga MX Final. We'll be watching that as soon as the MLS match is over. If you don't know, the first leg was an absolute thumping. Pachuca beating Toluca in their own house 5-1 on Thursday night. So I'm not sure how long we're going to stay with that Liga MX match tonight. But we will go there when this one is over. Here's 30 minutes to go now. And New York City pinging the ball around. They're possessing. Philadelphia chasing right now. Not where you want to be if you are the Philadelphia Union. For me, probably the best team in the last 4 months of the league season. Now they have their season on the ropes. Let's see how they respond if they keep it calm. Their goalkeeper kept them in this match. They owe him one now. But again, going back to the earlier match, it was 1-0 after Chicho scored. And it went into halftime 1-0. Sebastian Ibiaga came on for Giorgio Chiellini at halftime. Carlos Vela would see a yellow card in the 54th minute. In the 61st, a double substitution for Josh Wolf. Austin brought on Ethan Finley and Maximiliano Urruti for Rigoni and for Gite. But then in the 62nd minute, just after coming onto the pitch, you don't get much more hard luck than this. Urruti would put one past his own keeper. It was an own goal, putting LAFC up 2-0. Substitution after that for Steve Chirangolo. Quadwo Opuku would come on for Christian Arango. And another substitution at the same time for Austin. Felipe would replace Daniel Pereira. 77th minute as Sean Johnson comes up with the ball here. A good long ball sent in, but Carranza couldn't get to the end of it. Still 1-0, or I should say 0-1 in Philadelphia. But that substitution by Steve Chirangolo ends up paying off. He takes off Carlos Vela in the 77th, brings on Jackson Mendez, and in the 81st, it is Quado Opuku, the Ghanaian, who comes up with the third goal, and it was an absolutely splendid goal. And it really was the nail in the coffin. But moments before, when it was still 2-0, I do believe Austin was robbed here a little bit. There was shouts for a penalty. The referee even went to the VAR, and you could see on the VAR, you could see the foot of the LAFC defender coming down on Diego Fagundes' foot. I can understand both sides, but for me, this is a penalty all day, every day. Even if it's not the hardest of touches, he misses the ball, and he comes down. He's late. He gets Diego's foot, and it's completely inside the penalty area. And I don't have the slightest doubt that if it was outside the penalty area, the referee would have called it a foul. He goes to the monitor. He sees this over and over and over. Not sure why he spent so much time looking at it, but in the end, he upholds his decision to say no penalty. I disagree completely. Obviously, if he looked at it that many times, he wasn't convinced that there was a clear and obvious error. I'm not sure why. To me, it looked like a very, very clear penalty, and that would have changed the match. I think if you give Giussi a chance from the spot at that point, if he makes it 2-1, you got a quarter of an hour to go. Anybody's ball game at that point, anybody's match. And I thought we could have had a very exciting finish. Instead, the referee decides to uphold his decision. No penalty. And in the end, we see we see LAFC get a third. They win the Western Conference. Congratulations to them. We got a substitute coming in Philadelphia. It's Keaton Parks coming on. He's going to place Gabby Pereira now. And they're making the note that this is the stadium Keaton Parks played in his only U.S. national team appearance in this in this stadium in Chester. And we got an equalizer. Carranza has scored. Goal! I should have done that for New York City as well. I'm not being biased, but Carranza has pulled Philadelphia Union level, and Subaru Park is going crazy. What a goal. As I was talking about the referee's decision earlier, the ball came in from the right, a diagonal ball into the box. Carranza makes a great run. And we have an up-close look at a fan, an attractive fan, as she screams for Carranza. Literally, Keaton Parks is coming on. And literally, they play the ball. Okay, so it came from the center. It was off the set piece. Off the shoulder of the defender, Collins. And here we go. Carranza makes it 1-1. And now we got a football match, people. We got a football match. This is going to be exciting now. Jim Curtin is quietly fist pumping. So here we go. We're in the final 20 minutes or so of this one. 25 minutes. It's the 66th minute right now. This could turn into a wide open football match now. We're going to stay with it. But finishing my point from earlier, I think the referee got the decision wrong. And I think it made an ultimate big... I think by trying to not influence the match, the referee actually over-influenced the match. But again, I'm not taking anything away from LAFC. Deserved winners on the night. And they will be hosting MLS Cup next Saturday, and I will be going live again next Saturday night to talk about it. But here come the Union again. Here's Mabizo. He gives it to Burke. McGlynn swings it in. Carranza puts it to the back post. We got a second goal if he's onside. Gazdag has scored. The flag stays down. I'm going to wait for the VAR, but the flag stays down. Brilliant cross to the far post. Carranza heads it down across the face of goal, right onto the run of Gazdag. It looks like Philadelphia have gone ahead. I'm going to wait for the VAR, however. I'm going to wait for the VAR before I give the goal shout. As we see a guy wearing a Phillies jersey in the front row. I get it. But, wow. The Sons of Ben are going crazy. Subaru Park is in delirium right now. It looks clean. We're going to wait for the VAR, though. Sean Johnson is talking to the referee. It's obviously going to be reviewed. Let's see here. Here comes the ball from McGlynn to Carranza. Carranza. Oh, no, he is onside. He is absolutely onside. That's a goal. Goal! That is a goal. That is a beautiful goal. Sean Johnson with no chance. Gazdag is completely onside. The Hungarian scores again. And Philadelphia Union now can smell the final. They are 20-some minutes away from their first MLS Cup final. And if anyone's going to beat LAFC, it's probably them. So I'm excited here. Here we go. Keaton Parks on the ball. And it looks like New York's a little bit frazzled now as Parks finds Tenderholm, excuse me. We get a shot of Daniel Gazdag's second career MLS playoff goal. And now you can see the intensity has been picked up just a bit. And Carranza's pulled down in the defensive third. He'll earn a free kick and allow his team to push out. Yeah, it'll be great. A traditionalist like me, what I don't like about these playoffs is that when the top teams go out early. I know it's exciting for some people, not for me. I'm excited at the possibility of seeing the best in the West versus the best in the East. LAFC versus Philly. Let's do this. Bi-coastal next week. Oh, man, I'm already getting fired up. But we still got 20 minutes to play, 21 minutes to play here. So it's not over. I'll check in Mexico. It's still 0-0 there. Toluca need to score soon if they want to have any chance of making up a 4-goal deficit. And they look just ready to celebrate a championship at the Estadio Hidalgo right now in Pachuca. And I'm back in Philadelphia now watching that. And so looking at this, I had plans to talk about the EPL. I had plans to talk about Serie A. I guess I could talk off the cuff a little bit. EPL action this week. What can I say? Man City wins again. The champions elect, is it fair to say? I know we're only in October. We're at the final night of October here. Halloween is just a few hours away. But is it fair to say that Man City are going to be champions of England? I think it kind of is. Liverpool with their struggles. Liverpool lose again. Shout out. Congratulations to Jesse Marsh. I am pulling for you, Jesse. Okay, I am rooting for Leeds United States, okay, as they play in the Premier League, and their fight to stay up. You know, they lost a key guy in Rafinha this offseason. It's not easy to replace that. A very good game from the American Brandon Aronson, whose little brother is on the bench right now for Philadelphia as New York is coming in. And Mabizo with a fantastic tackle. He finds Carranza. Carranza holds it up, waits for support, looks, he plays it down the right. Here's McGlynn. McGlynn plays it inside to Burke. Burke's going to shoot it, and it's just over the bar. And we get a deflection. It's going to be a corner to Philadelphia. Nice bit of counterattacking there from Philly. Jim Curtin said before the match he's not interested in possession. I love that. You know how I feel about that. He's not interested in possessing the ball. He's interested in scoring goals. And the crowd is just going crazy right now. What a crowd there. As we get the corner kicks about to be taken by Kai Wagner. The lefty is going to take it from the left side. It's going to be an outswinger. He's going to whip it in. Let's see who he finds. He does find his teammate there, but the header goes straight up, and now it's cleared out. Only as far as about the middle third, but here's Mabizo again going forward with it into space, but he's going to dribble it out of bounds. Leeds United, back to Leeds. They were awesome, beating Liverpool, a nice goal by Somerville there in the closing moments, really, through the legs of Alisson. You got to ask more questions of Alisson on that one, and something's up at Liverpool. They're just not the same team anymore. Klopp's magic, is it running out? As we got a New York City attack here. Morales to O'Toole, but he takes it out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick. What's going on at Liverpool? Liverpool fans, tell me what you think. I haven't even told you guys how to contact me yet. We've been going for an hour. You can find me, as you can see the handle right there on your screen if you're watching along. If you're listening to the podcast, it's at Mike Agostinho. That's at MikeAgostinho. Or you can find the show rather on Instagram and on Twitter at PTV_media. Go ahead and drop me a line, Liverpool fans. Tell me what's going on. What's going on right now? Mo Salah picked up a goal, but you want to know what I think's going on? It's very easy to say this, but if you go back to episodes last season, I talked about just how important Sadio Mane was to this team. When everybody was campaigning for Mo Salah to be the Ballon d'Or winner, I was saying, well, it's Sadio Mane. He is the guy. He is the link. He scores goals and he sets them up. He drops into the midfield when he needs to help out. He changes the point of attack. He's got pace. He's got strength. I think Liverpool miss Sadio Mane. I really think that's what's missing. Everything has crumbled since he's not been there. They've struggled to find that guy that can do that. Honestly, I think they got to change the way they play a little bit. They got to play a game that's more suited for the guys they do have now. And you can see the pressure getting to Klopp. He's just doing things that are out of character and out of not what he normally does. So we'll see how We'll see how the rest of the season plays out. Again, it could be a brand new season after the World Cup. Who knows? Speaking of which, the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup, is almost here. As you see on the bottom of your screen, if you're watching live, we're 22 days away. If you're listening to the podcast, by the time you hear this, it'll be at least 21 days away. And I'm going to have you covered during the World Cup. I'm going to do everything I can to get as much content to you as possible during the FIFA World Cup. If you want to come on with me, if you got a favorite team and you think your team doesn't get enough love, maybe it's Ghana, maybe it's Uruguay, maybe it's Australia, maybe it's Iran. Holla at me. I'll bring you on the show. You can tell us all about your team. Okay? If you've got a team and you don't think they get enough love during the World Cup, I'm giving you my platform right now. Come on with me. Talk to me about your team, and I'll be more than happy to bring you on, okay? At PTV_media, Instagram and Twitter. Drop me a line in there and let me know. If you want to just come on the nights your team plays during the World Cup, let me know. We can work it out. 75th minute now. Still 2-1. Sorry, still 2-1 Philadelphia. They're attacking. They're looking for more. And Carranza commits a foul here deep in the offensive third. He doesn't agree. He looks at the linesman. But it's going to be a free kick coming out to New York City. Another story in the Prem right now. Manchester United, they got to win today. They started my man, Cristiano Ronaldo. I haven't even talked about everything that's been going on with him. And listen, it's so much more complex than what every so-called analyst and expert is talking about. I think Cristiano is going through a lot of things personally. Some of it is the reality that age is catching up. Hold on, we got something here. It's a goal. It's Burke. Goal! It's Philadelphia. It's 3-1. And the stadium is completely rocking now. New York City FC is coming undone. And we got some dancing going on at the corner flag with Martinez and Burke. Burke, after a little bit of a scramble, again, sloppy defending here from New York City FC. And in the space of less than 10 minutes, maybe a little more than 10 minutes, New York City FC has crumbled. Long through ball into Burke. Hack tries, he gets out muscled by Burke. And then he dribbles through. Tenderholm tries to clear it, but he just clears it right off of Burke. It drops right back to his feet. And he, with his left foot, he just blasts it past Sean Johnson. And it's looking now like it's going to be Philadelphia and LA next Saturday. It's looking like it. Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, this, if you don't know, I'm testing this format out. I don't know how well this is going to work because I'm bouncing around all over the place. It's kind of like doing sports radio while there's a live game on, but there's a lot going on there. This is more than just him, quote unquote, with an ego problem. Yes, there's a bit of that where he's coming to the realization that age is catching up with him. Okay. But he's still a lot better than almost everybody else in the world that plays that position. He's not the best in the world. He's not in the, even if he's the 25th or 35th or 40th best player in the world, he's still better than almost everybody he plays against. Okay. Yes, he does not fit Man United's style. I knew this was going to be a bad fit. Leaving the pitch early, okay, there's more to it. For someone to do that, I really think there's more to it there than we know about. I think the full truth is kept behind closed doors here. A lot of people criticizing CR7 for his newfound friendship with one Dr. Jordan Peterson, but I think that's an inside look into the fact that, now listen, Cristiano Ronaldo and his partner lost a child last spring, okay, last winter. I don't think he's over that. Nor would anybody be. I would not be over that. Anyone who's a parent can't even imagine losing a child at birth. Okay? And I think that deeply affects him. He's a sensitive person. Okay? He adores his kids. There's no question about it. He lost a son. And I think emotionally he's unstable a little bit because of that. And what I believe, and I think, not that we got Rodriguez at the back post, but Andre Blake is there. He can't get a shot off. What I think is happening, and not to get into American football, but you've got Cristiano Ronaldo and you've got Tom Brady kind of going through, they're in the same stages of their careers where they were once GOATs, and the fall is not being graceful, and they both got problems going on at home, different ones. And I think they both escape to their sport for that escape. I think Cristiano Ronaldo has relied on football to escape from real life issues. It doesn't hurt that I'm married to a mental health professional, and she sees this. These are conversations we have. She believes he has not properly grieved the loss of his son, most likely. And that friendship with Jordan Peterson, who is a psychologist, is likely come from conversations regarding grief and regarding pain that he's feeling and what he's dealing with. When you make friends like that, okay, and put aside the politics, okay, I'm not here, this is not a political podcast. I can do that if you want to. I really don't want to. I probably would have a lot more listeners if I decided to make this a political podcast, because of how just diabolic and just how divisive and polarizing politics is. No matter what I say, I'm gonna please half of the world. As we have an offside, no offside, but big save there from Johnson. But put aside the politics of Jordan Peterson. I personally like Jordan Peterson. You have to read him. You have to actually read his words. You have to actually get to know what he's talking about. You need to know the context. But on the surface, he's not well liked. What my wife and I talk about is it does not look like, and she's an expert in this field. This is her world. He does not look like someone who has personally grieved, and he's someone who has always depended on himself to be the caretaker. He cares for his mother. He cares for his siblings. He cares for his kids. He cares for Georgina. Okay? He wants to be in charge, and that pressure mounts. And I do believe that going all the way back to his father's death and his father's illness, okay, and his father's, struggles and demons with substance, with alcohol, football has always been his medicine, his release. And he's now found himself in a situation where he has a manager who's not playing him. You add in the fact where he feels disrespected, almost humiliated to be warming up for 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it was. It's not as simple as he just doesn't want to go in. Okay, it's a lot of baggage in that man. There's a lot of weight on those shoulders. And then he's adding the extra weight to himself to be the captain of Portugal still at age 37, 38, whatever he is. And talking about wanting to still be there in 2024 now. That's a lot of pressure. And now he's got a manager who's barely older than he is, who's sitting him down. And the truth is, he doesn't fit what Ten Hag wants to do. And I think a good manager can't be so stubborn about the play he wants to implement. Now, they probably should have let him go. They didn't. They didn't let him go. They probably should have. It may not have been a good decision to bring him back in the first place, but he was talked into it by Sir Alex. It was about his legacy. If it's going to be about that, you can't then go hire a coach that's going to play a game that he can't play in when you're on that kind of salary. Some guys can just sit aside and become one of the locker room guys late in their career. CR7 is not that. He's never been that. No one can expect him to be that. He's so damn competitive that if he's not playing, he's losing his release, his medication, if you will. Is that a healthy way to cope with problems? I don't think so, but it's totally natural. When I was younger and my mother was sick and she was in the hospital and I thought she was going to pass, you know, the first thing I did, I got my friends together, I went and played football. I totally get it. I entered an indoor tournament and I just tried to block it all out. Fortunately, she pulled through. Everything was fine. That was over 20 years ago now. I was 19 years old. But I think Cristiano's going through a little bit of that. That's my insight. I could be completely wrong. I'm not an expert, but nobody's talking about the off-the-field things that have gone on in his life that may be contributing to this behavior. They're just they think it's all about football, and they think that footballers are robots and that they just completely shut out their lives when it comes time to play. It's good to see him play today, to play 90. I'm holding out hope that he's going to have a good World Cup, at least have a good match at the World Cup at one of them. I don't see how he's not going to be fit to play 3 matches, 90 minutes a match. I don't think he should play 90 minutes in any match, but I do think he's much more useful as a starter than as a substitute. I from what I've seen, bring him on as a substitute does not seem to do anything good for the team. I think he's much more useful. Give him an hour. Give him 45 minutes as a starter. Okay. He's the captain of the team. He's not going to be dropped. Fans want him to be dropped. It's not that simple. At least not in the first match. Maybe if it's a bad first match, then you have to have that conversation and say, you know, maybe this isn't working. We'll wait and see. But it was good to see him out there. He got a goal the other night in the Europa League. So it was good to see. That's Man United right now. They get back in the winning ways. 1-0 winners today. A goal from Marcus Rashford over West Ham United. Chelsea beaten 4-1 this weekend by Brighton Hove and Albion. Graham Potter's old team beats their former manager. And Arsenal also, they pick up another win today. 5-0 over the same Nottingham Forest that beat Liverpool a week ago. I think it's time to take Arsenal for real. I know I said last week I need to see a few more matches from them. They're not playing Champions League. They're in the Europa League, and they can afford to rest players a little easier than if they were in the Champions League. I admit I haven't watched their Europa League matches. I've seen the scores. I don't know what their rotation looks like, but right now, Arsenal are looking good. I mean, they're only 2 points ahead of City, though. That's why I'm wondering if City are, champions elect, because I don't know that Arsenal are going to keep this up all season. I asked that question when I started talking about the English League. Are City champions already? I trust them a lot more than I trust Arsenal to go ahead and get the points down the stretch. But right now, through 12 matches, we got Arsenal top of the table with 31 points. As Sean Johnson almost scores in his own goal, Burke has got it here. He drops it for Carranza, but it's cleared by Keaton Parks. 88th minute now. 3-1 to Philadelphia. It looks like this one's going to be over in a moment. Man City are second on 29. They're 2 points behind Arsenal. Tottenham third on 26. Newcastle up into the top 4 now after a win over Bournemouth this weekend. 24 points for the Magpies. Man United up to 5th. So they're in a good spot right now with 23 points. They're 2 better than Chelsea, who are in 6th. Fulham 7th with 19. Marco Silva doing a great job at Fulham. They're surprising everybody right now. Brighton Hove and Albion 8th place. Also fantastic surprise for the league this year. Liverpool all the way in 9th on 16 points. And like I said, got to figure out what's wrong there. And you got to adjust. Got to make adjustments. Coaches can't just complain they don't have players. They have to make adjustments. They have to find a way to make it work. Easier said than done, I know, but that's what they're paid to do. Crystal Palace round out the top 10 with 16. Below that, Brentford, Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, Leeds, Aston Villa, and Southampton. And then in the relegation spots with 11 points, 18th is Leicester. They were beaten 1-0 today by Man City. Wolves still in the relegation zone, 19th place with 10 points. And Nottingham Forest, bottom of the table with 9 points. We're coming up on the 90th minute now here in Philadelphia. Not here, but on my screen in Philadelphia. Like I said, I thought about even trying to get a ticket to this match today, but they were way out of my price range. Here comes O'Toole. He's trying to get in the box. It's cleared by Martinez. McGlynn plays it tries to find Gazdag, but it's played out of play by New York City FC, and it looks like the champions are about to go down in the MLS Cup playoffs. It looks like Jim Curtin is finally going to take this team to MLS Cup. They've won a Supporters Shield, so now they're going to try to win an MLS Cup. And I'm quite excited for next Saturday. 3 minutes of stoppage time indicated by the fourth official. Here's Carranza in the area, but nice job tracking back by the Manchester City defender there. Who was that? They're not showing me. They're showing me fans instead. And look at those fans. They are ecstatic. What a time to be a Philly sports fan, huh? The Union, the Phillies, the Eagles, all flying high right now in the city of brotherly love. And it's got to be quite a time to be a Philadelphia sports fan. Kai Wagner puts it out. It's going to be a goal kick to New York City. 1 of the 3 minutes has been played. We're at the 91st minute now, or the 90th plus 1. And really, New York City not showing any urgency either. It looks like they've given up on it. They're not really pushing the ball forward. They're passing it sideways when they have about 90 seconds left in their season. They need 2 goals. Doesn't look like they're really believing in it. As Philadelphia recovers it there. It's Burke all the way back there. And he's hopping on 1 foot right now. The referee says play on. O'Toole's going to try to get across. Now, New York City have given up. They're not even really pushing forward. Oh, O'Toole is. He looks for Tenderholm, and that's 3 points in rugby, but it's none in football. Puts it way over the goal. Tough way to end for the champions, but I didn't expect them to get this far, honestly. When I saw them play in July live, I was impressed. They lost Tati Castellanos. He went to Girona. And they lost their identity for a little while. Late in the regular season, they got it back. They started pulling off some more results. And now the Philly fans can sense it. They're jumping up and down. They got yellow towels waving. Andre Blake takes the goal kick. He plays it deep. And it's flicked on by Carranza. Passed back to Sean Johnson, who finds Keaton Parks, who gets it back again. Keaton plays it through to Morales, now to Santiago Rodriguez. Referee whistles a foul. 92-39, 92-40, 92-41. This one is just about over. Santiago Rodriguez is on the ground. He's going to limp up. They got about 10 seconds left to get another opportunity here. He's going to whip in across. It's cleared away by Glesnes. Alan Chapman, the referee, looks at his watch, and he blows 3 times for full time. Philadelphia Union on their way to MLS Cup. Congratulations. Here comes the podium. They're ready to set it up. They're going to get a cup. I always find this funny. They get a cup for the Eastern Conference. They get a cup for the Western Conference. I think now you can say we're going to have the best 2 teams in the final, and for me, that's always good. So they're getting the party started in Philadelphia. Let's go to... okay, so over in Pachuca, we have an update as Toluca have scored, but it also looks like we might have a penalty or something going on here. And in Philadelphia, they're playing the Birds on the PA system. I can hear it in my headphones. All My Life is playing right now. And the fans are clapping along and singing along. They're waiting for a VAR decision in Mexico right now. Toluca have got one back. It's now 5-2 on aggregate, 1-0 on the night, but it looks like a potential penalty here. And it looks like they're at the Toluca defensive end. And yes, the referee is pointing to the spot in Pachuca. And Paulinho has got the ball in his hands for Pachuca. He's ready to take the pen. He's going to try to equalize here. The Toluca players continue to plead their case right now in hopes of trying to change the referee's mind, I guess. It's already been verified. Oh, he's going to the VAR. Okay. The referee's going to the VAR now in Mexico. So we've quickly switched gears. Can you see me doing this next season on Saturday nights with Liga MX and MLS going? That's my idea for the show for next season, okay? My idea is to have a soccer Saturday night, okay? And we'll watch games and I'll talk. And whoever wants to join can join. And yeah, hopefully have a good time with it. And looking at the VAR, it comes off his shoulder and looks to go down his arm. It looks like this is going to be a handball. I don't see how this is not going to be a handball against Toluca. But you never know, as they said in the Champions League this week on CBS. And Thierry Henry said, every time I think I know the rules, I don't know anything. So we don't have Christina Uncle here right now to explain it. But it looks like a handball to me. I'm going to pull it up here. The play is under review. Toluca's goal was scored by Raul Lopez, assisted by Carlos Gonzalez. That was in the 21st minute. We're now in the 45th, and it is a penalty. The referee has just come back from the monitor and pointed to the spot. The referee, and his name is not listed here on FOTMob. I wish it were, because I'd tell you who he was. But yeah, it looked like a clear penalty to me. This could be Pachuca's hopes here. If they convert this, it goes to 6-2 on aggregate and probably ices it if it's not already finished. And when Fox goes back to Philadelphia, I will let you know what's going on with the trophy celebrations. I will update you on whatever gets said by the players in the post game, and we'll see where this goes. But right now we're watching at the Estadio Hidalgo in Pachuca, Mexico. And now the ball is no longer in Paulinho's hand. It's been handed over to... One thing about Pachuca, they're not, instead of number 7 or number 6 or number 9, they wear 06, 07, 09. Not a big fan of that. I'm going to try to see who this is taking the penalty right now. It is Ibanez. So it's Nicolas Ibanez, I believe, stepping up to take this penalty. A short approach, slightly to the left of the football. Laser pointers in the goalkeeper's eye right now. Let's see here. Volpe has got laser pointers in his eyes, the Brazilian goalkeeper for Toluca. Here goes Ibanez. He steps, stutter step, high step, shoots, saved by Volpe! And Toluca are still alive here. Volpe with a huge save. He dives to his right. He guesses correctly. I don't like the approach from Ibanez here. It is a Pachuca corner now. Like we said, 47th minute now. And how big this save could come up big if Toluca can grab another. Right now, their goal has to be to get to halftime, keeping it 1-0, not surrendering and regrouping when we get to the second half. Here comes Pachuca again. And there's the cross. Volpe again gets a tip. And wow, it's a goal. Goal! It is Pachuca leveling on the night and widening their lead on aggregate. That ball went all the way out wide to De La Fuente. And then it was actually De La Fuente who finished. It was Ibarra who crossed it from wide on the right. It came all the way across the goal. And De La Fuente scores and does his patented twerk. That went viral last week when he did it. And he just sidewinded it on a half volley to the far post, kissed it off the post. And just like Volpe had deflected it to him, and then a left-footed sidewinder to the far post. And I guess Volpe's got to do a little better than that. He didn't clear it very far. And the ball bounced over him, essentially. The sidewinder kicks it down. It deflects a little bit off a defender and then redirects over Volpe. It is 1-1 now on the night, but it is 6-2. And it's actually Victor Guzman with the goal. De La Torre was the one that crossed it, so Fatmob was wrong now that I see it in front of me. And back in Philadelphia, the celebration is going on the pitch right now. We're going to present the trophy. Mark Abbott is there, one of the MLS officials. And he's thanking the fans. The MLS president, Mark Abbott's thanking the fans. I just heard a reference to American sports. And the boos rang out. He must have said Don Garber's name. Now he's congratulating the owners. I hate this about American sports. Don't congratulate. Can you imagine? Okay, they're going to present it to the captain. Thank you. Because can you imagine? Actually, they're going to present it to the owner who's going to hand it to Alejandro Bedoya, the captain. Can you imagine Chelsea winning the Champions League or the Premier League and Todd Boehly being handed the trophy? That's just something I never understood about American sports. But Ale Bedoya, with his hamstring heavily wrapped, is going to try to jump on his good leg here. And, he raises the Eastern Conference trophy. And the fans are doing the do-do-do-do-do-do-do that they do. And, it looks like quite a party down there in Chester tonight. It's late Sunday night, and they don't care. So we got quite the scene going on in Philadelphia right now. And it is halftime in Pachuca, 1-1. And it looks all but done. And I think that we're going to call this party right now. What do you guys think? This is the Mr. Mike Agustino. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for everyone that was here. It was fun to bring this to you. It was a different format. I don't know if this is what I want to do. Give me the feedback. Did you like this? Did you not like it? I was going to talk about Serie A. I was going to talk about Bundesliga. I can do a podcast about that tomorrow. That's not a big deal. More content coming your way. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down there. Subscribe to the PTV Media Network. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the alert button so you get alerted every time I go live. Okay, I don't know how often I'm going to go live. The podcast per se won't be live. This was kind of a little bit of a pilot for a live watch along or watch party. This is what I want to do next season on Major League Soccer Saturday nights with Liga MX also going. They're playing at the same time. Why not? Brazilian League, Argentine League. I can maybe get as many screens in here as I can and kind of fine tune this format. I think it's best to not try to cover leagues while doing it because things happen, and I think that this episode may have jumped around a little bit, but let me know what you think at PTB_media on Instagram and on Twitter, and let me know what you think. Okay. Make sure you check out the website, www.parkingthebusmedia.com. Like I said, I got a lot of ideas now, and I'm going to have new programming in the new year after the World Cup. Okay. I'm going to start to record it soon, put it in the can, and release it in 2023. New series. Okay. It's not just the Parking the Bus podcast. I kind of gave you the spoiler tonight about Soccer Saturday Nights. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but that's the working name right now. Maybe I can put it up to a poll as to what you want to call the Saturday night watch parties. Centered around Major League Soccer for sure. Also, I'm writing a series that I think is going to last a couple of years, and it's going to be tapping into my passion for the history of this sport and telling the story. And there'll be more details on that coming out throughout the rest of this 2022. All right, so we're gonna have a midweek pod this week, okay? And maybe that's where I'll cover Serie A and I'll cover Bundesliga and La Liga as well. I'll catch you up to date on that there. We'll talk about midweek matches this week. We got Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League going on this week. Like I said, the Brazilian League will be playing midweek this week as well. So there's a lot of football this midweek. I'll do a midweek episode on Thursday. That's my plan right now. I have a half day of work Thursday, so I plan to be recording. I'll be back next Saturday to cover MLS Cup. I'll be back at nighttime. The match is in the afternoon, but I'll be on. Stay tuned to the social media. Maybe I'll do it right after the match. Maybe I'll do it at night. I don't know yet. I don't think I'm going to do a watch along per se like I did today. I've got to watch this now, and I've got to see I've got to listen to it, see how it sounded, see how it went, and see if it's something I want to do. I think I learned tonight I'm not going to be trying to mix in review, league news of other things and watching matches at the same time. Trying to tell you what's going on. But this was a little bit of a pilot, so I hope you guys liked it. I hope if you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. If this is something you don't want to hear, let me know. Maybe I'll rethink this. But this is my idea for 2023 on Saturday nights, essentially. I can't do it every Saturday night because this isn't my full-time job, and I do plan to travel again next season. Next Saturday may be the last show until the World Cup. I'm not positive yet, actually, but that's the plan, I think, is that next Saturday will be the last episode before the World Cup. There is another week of action, but I'm going to take a week or two off to finish up the video projects I've been working on so that I can put those up on the channel so you can see my trip to Cincinnati and my trip to Red Bull Arena as well. Those travel videos. I plan on doing that again next season. Of course, like I said, I got a 6-year-old who loves Charlotte FC. Now I've got to get him to a Charlotte home match next year, so that's one. I also got to try DC again. I have a plan to do it again. And I want to get to Nashville next season. And I want to see the Hell. When you see the Hell is Real video, you'll see why I want to see it again next year. But next year, I think I want to go to Columbus and experience it there. I don't know. My foot for traveling is getting an itching, and I love to drive. So I don't know. Hopefully, I'll have some more trips next season. And that could be a series in of its own. Plus, there's a couple soccer-themed entertainment series I want to review, do show reviews. And I'm starting to schedule that out and just how I'm going to record that, how I'm going to watch it. So stay tuned to the channel. Stay tuned to the social media. I'm going to start trying to drive the social media a little bit. And I'm going to try to get the whole thing rolling. Okay, try to really get this to be a network, because right now it's a podcast and a YouTube channel that's kind of disjointed. But also coming this week, okay, I got Mr. Benfica. I got some content coming out. Benfica are flying high. What can I say? Now 8 points clear atop of the Portuguese league. First thing in the morning, I'm recording Mr. Benfica and an episode of my new Portuguese 3rd Division show. That's a short one, so I plan on getting that done tomorrow morning. First thing in the morning before I go to work. And we'll take it from there. So make sure you follow the website, like I said, www.parkingthebusmedia.com. and follow on Twitter and Instagram, both my personal account at Mike Agostino at MikeAgostinho, and the show's account at PTV_media. I'll see you next time here on the Parking the Bus podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the Mr. Mike Agostino signing off. Thanks for joining me tonight. I had a blast. Congratulations, Philadelphia and Los Angeles. Looking forward to MLS Cup 2022 in a week's time. Good night, everybody.